Star Wars sucks. Take this. Think Star Wars sucks. I'll show you what sucks. You suck. You know what? How about you start slapping yourself as I drink my soda? Slap me, slap me, slap me. Keep slapping yourself. Alright, you know what? Why don't you dance for me? Yeah, that's right. You're my puppet. You think Star Wars sucks? Well, guess what? You suck. Now dance, you puppet. Dance, you authentic idiot. Yes. You know what? I think I'm about done with you. You know what I'm gonna do next, don't you, you idiot? That's right. Take this. I'll show you how to dance, you moron. This is how you dance. Yeah. Yeah. Suck it. Suck it. Suck it. Yeah. Peace out.
Well, everybody, we just got back from The Last Jedi, the next Star Wars movie. We'll start off first by pretty much talking about what we thought about the movie, the high points and the low points, and at the end, we will actually have some spoilers. Now, first of all, what did you think of the movie?
Well, you know, Nate, I thought it got a little weird at parts.
Could you explain, actually? Because...
Well, you know, during the parts of the movie, they started doing these scenes, and... to me, it felt weird. Now, towards the end, they started explaining all these things, but as they were coming up, they had me guessing, and I just, at first, felt they were weird.
Did you think it detoured from the overall movie as a whole? If it hadn't been for the end parts where they actually kind of filled in the gaps to where you figured out what the hell was going on? Because I thought that, too. It was kind of sporadic. And personally, I actually think that the, Force Awakens was actually... overall, I think a better movie in terms of action. This had a lot more drama shit to it, but a lot less action.
Now, this is just the middle movie for this particular trilogy.
Yeah.
So, we had to expect some down parts.
And
you know, as far as those weird parts deterring from the movie, yes, at times it did deter from the movie. Though, I did enjoy the parts for the most part. And when they tied it up, they did tie it up neatly, nice little bow and everything.
Yeah, I thought it had some scenes that didn't need to be in the movie. Like, there's a part, like, I don't even think it was even halfway through the movie where they go to a certain location. I'm not going to say now, of course. But it seemed to, like, drag on and keep bringing in new characters and stuff, and they didn't flesh out the characters at all. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, okay, no, he's a bad guy, but he's going to help you out, and... holy crap, you mean he was a bad guy and he screwed him over? Who the hell thought of that? I mean,
yeah, and in previous movies, especially the original trilogy, when they brought in a new character, they gave that character more depth and they gave that character redemption and everything. I feel almost like they were maybe trying to mock that a little bit, but they didn't do it as neatly as they could.
It did have some sloppy parts. I mean, all in all, it was still a good movie. I don't think it was a great movie, though. I mean, it was interesting. I mean... the place was packed, but I didn't hear anybody cheering when they were leaving. It was quiet, like I heard fucking crickets in there, pretty much. I mean, overall...
yeah, overall, I enjoyed the movie.
Oh, yeah, like I said, it is a good movie, and I do recommend you see it. But honestly, don't really have your hopes up too much in terms of, you know, I guess what it was is since this is their version of, you said, Strikes Back, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it really was.
It didn't seem as depressing as Empire Strikes Back. It's like they were getting into parts that were going to, and then all of a sudden they would just flip it and go somewhere else with it.
They could have elaborated more on it.
Yeah.
A lot.
And, you know, Luke does return in this, and, you know, personally, what did you think about the acting done by the actors in this movie?
Okay, so I'm a Mark Hamill fanboy. Yeah. And it was nice to see him back in a movie. He's gotten old. He
Very
really
old.
has. His acting isn't what it was in the original trilogy. It was wonderful to see him. You couldn't make the movie without him. It would have been hollow without him, but...
and it's a shame to say Carrie Fisher did a great job, but you could tell that her health or something, because when she was reading her lines, she sounded distant, she sounded weak, And and they didn't do this as a part of her character either. It was just, you could tell it was
It's
her.
also, I mean, when you think about The Force Awakens, what acting has she done in between? And I haven't kept track of her acting career, but Return of the Jedi to The Force Awakens.
Other than some TV spots and like minor stuff, she really hadn't done anything. So I mean,
several things involving Star Wars, just doing a cameo.
Yeah.
Other than that, no
I mean,
major parts.
overall, the effects I thought were actually really top notch, and most of the actors that returned from the last movie did a stellar job as well. I think they seem to focus too much on Poe Dameron's character, and I don't like Poe in this. I think he comes off as just an...
I feel like overall throughout the movie, this movie was giving Poe Dameron some chances for the next movie.
Yeah.
Now let's think about the future for Poe.
I mean, at least
he's got time.
They fleshed him out enough to where you can see him evolve. Same as Kylo Ren. They did do some pretty cool stuff with Kylo Ren. I couldn't really guess how he was going to go until the finale, and you're like, okay. And Snoke is in the movie. Snoke is in the movie.
Yeah, got to see live flesh Snoke.
Well, CGI live flesh Snoke, but... And nonetheless, you get to see him, and it looks pretty damn badass. He kind of looks like a cross between Freddy Krueger and, honestly, one of the Jasons, because his face was all disfigured and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you could see that in the previous one, but going from that hologram to...
Yeah, because it was actually a physical version of him, in the movie, that is, with CGI, I mean. But, he had all these marks on him and stuff where you could tell he got attacked, but they never went into detail with any of that. And near the end, there was this weird sort of love thing brewing with a character with Finn, but they never really had enough time to really flesh out the character. What was her name? Rose, I think it was. Rose. And I thought that was kind of weak, too. Actually.
Well, it's... How can it go anywhere with him and Rey, though?
Well, maybe he likes more than one woman. I don't know. It is space.
Rey and Rose?
Yeah. But all in all, couldn't you recommend this movie for people to go see?
If you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to go see it.
Well,
Hands down, you're going to go see it. If you watch The Force Awakens and you plan on keeping up with this trilogy, you're going to go see it. You can't have a beginning and end without the middle.
Yeah, that is true. Do you think it was better than Force Awakens?
I loved The Force Awakens.
Your own personal opinion. I like Force Awakens better than this.
It was better.
I mean, but now that I think we got past that, let's get into the total spoiler part of this. So if you don't want any sort of spoilers, this is the part where you'll want to stop the video. But I definitely got to say, first of all, with this movie, the one part that I hated the most was the stupid casino scene. It seemed like they were trying too hard to have a damn cantina scene thrown in there with this weird James Bond character.
They made a direct reference to that, and then they didn't even get to the actual James Bond character.
I know, yeah, they're going to get to this guy to help them be able to hack a code to get in to stop the main bad guys in their ship, and they never really even get to talk to him. It was a pointless fucking scene. It was pointless.
It wasn't 100% pointless. Now I felt that to give Finn more development and everything, that's what they were going for, but there were better ways to do it.
Yeah. But pretty much the way the movie starts off is pretty much it goes into showing.
Hold on. With the way this movie started, they had some classic comedic stuff in there.
Yeah.
That I appreciated. It really touched on some old school
nice
comedy.
Old school. You got to think Yoda appears in this again, which I thought was actually done pretty good because it was a damn puppet, but it still. So what do you think about Yoda though?
At first, I felt it was a little forced. I felt like they weren't going to go anywhere with it. They kind of...
And then it Awakened?
It did.
Force Awakened. But, you can really sum this movie up very simply like this. You got the main bad guys, the space Nazis, that are pretty much, right at the beginning you find out that they pretty much kick the ass of all the good guys, and they're all on the run. And the whole basic part of this movie is them, the good guys in their ships, trying to outrun the bad guys in their ships as they're kicking their ass, basically. And then you got certain parts that branch off where they're like, well, how are we going to stop them? We're running out of fuel. I thought it was a really stupid idea.
It was small scale compared to every other Star Wars I've ever
Yes,
seen.
it was. It did have its epic battles, but it was small scale. It had a lot of fucking stupid parts in it too. Like they blow up this Star Destroyer, whatever the hell it was, Dreadnought. They blow up a Dreadnought, right? And you got both Rose and Finn. Everything else gets blown up around them. Okay, it's like a smoldering wreck, and yet they're fine. Right when they're getting ready to be executed, and you know, right when they're getting ready to kill them off, this explosion happens, and everybody else is dead. All the bad guys are dead, and they're fine there. You know, it would have been nice to at least have like some of the stormtroopers that were there getting ready to kill them still near them and hurt. And then they have, you know, these fight scenes that were really fucking stupid. And I thought it dragged on way too long with fucking Luke as well. They never got to the fucking point. He just kept backpedaling. And then you notice at the end when Luke, apparently he must have stopped by to get some Jesper Men for his gray beard, because at the end, his white beard wasn't as white anymore. It was brown.
Oh, you gotta think about
and I'm thinking,
what that was, though, at the end.
So, and what was at the end?
It was almost like an... what's it called? Astral projection?
Yeah, like he used all his force power to astral project himself in the middle of this battle, pretty much to give everybody else enough time to leave. Because at first I'm like, this is stupid. Luke just shows up out of nowhere in this place where they're like,
a boss,
the only
acting like a badass.
Yeah, like a badass, which I didn't have a problem with. But it explained too, since he wasn't really there, that's why he was, you know, such a badass.
So powerful.
And like Snoke, he was kind of a bitch in this. I mean, you have a part where basically you have I almost call him Severus Snape. He reminds me of Severus Snape so much from all the Harry Potter movies. But you know, well, he does. But you know, he ends up killing Snoke, cutting him in half and shit, and Rey, and.
But the way he cut him in half, there was no conflict.
No conflict.
It was arrogance.
It's
that
like
killed Snoke.
three battles in this movie. 3 lightsaber battles, really. And the rest is all them running from bad guys as they're getting blasted.
I mean, but keeping in touch with the classic trilogy compared to, you know, like the prequel trilogy where you had Jedi running around like crazy, the original trilogy didn't have that many lightsaber battles either. And the original trilogy was amazing.
They couldn't afford it at the time. And this time, you can't go from making The Force Awakens to this and you know, pivot that much. You can tell it was different directors and everything, but all in all,
now,
I mean, it was just, all in all, it was a good movie.
It was.
I recommend seeing it, but it was not a great movie. It had several parts I was disappointed with. There's a part where, like, Princess Leia, whatever her name is, you know,
General
Leia,
yeah.
Their ship gets blown up, she gets sucked out into space. And then,
that part was so forced.
Yeah, it was so forced. All of a
Unbelievable.
sudden, she just technically uses the Force to pull herself back in, and she survives.
Never explains any of her training or anything.
And there's even a kid at the end who apparently has a little bit of Force power, and they never explain that shit either. And they bounced around way too much.
That was the dead end of the movie. Now, I want to go back to this Leia thing real quick. You know, we all know Carrie Fisher died.
Yeah.
And throughout the movie, I was looking for different parts where, okay, they're going to give her a decent send-off. But they don't give her any send-off at all in this movie.
Unless they're setting it up for the next one.
How can they set it up? They're going to have to kill her at the beginning of the next movie.
Oh, maybe they recorded enough footage to work it in somehow. Where the fuck was Harrison Ford?
Well, I mean, rude.
Well, no, Harrison Ford filmed scenes for this movie, and he wasn't even in it.
But he died in the last movie.
He was supposed to have, like, flashbacks or something.
Oh.
So I think what they're doing... Yes, with Leia. So I think what they're doing is they're saving that footage for the next movie to write it in somehow to kill off, Leia. Because they had her live, and it was poorly done. I mean, they did a lot of good parts in this movie... But in the end, I think it faltered several times, and all in all, it was a good movie.
Because of Carrie Fisher's death.
Possibly, but then they should have rewrote it. Hey, Disney, you got the money, you should have rewrote it then. Work it around a little bit better than the way you did it. You know, I mean, Finn, okay, pretty cool. He did get revenge on that silver
Phantasma. What?
Fenbo.
Shiny.
The shiny bitch. The shiny bitch that got knocked in the trash compactor. I mean, he finally had a fight with her, And it was an okay fight, but it ended lame. He knocked her off into some fire, and once again, this whole ship's blown up and they're fine. So, all in all, it has this, melodramatic bullshit in it, like most movies do, to where it's got some good parts to it. It's got some comedic parts, but I still found Force Awakens even had better comedic parts, more funnier parts than this. This had some good parts.
Really, the comedic parts were limited to the beginning.
Very
And then
limited.
they really did get to business. It wasn't the best business, but after that, they did try and keep it just business.
Yeah, I think that this movie would have been a lot better if they would have cut it down to an hour, maybe hour and a half. It was
Well, they gotta
not
go
worth
at least
2.5,
an hour.
3 hours long
Yeah.
movie. It's too damn long of a movie. But that's what I have to say about it. Your final thoughts from beginning to end. You say you liked the movie.
I did.
What parts you think they can improve upon on it, and hopefully the next one.
Really, as long the casino scene. I don't want to see another casino scene. I don't want to see them go off on another
He agrees with me on
needless.
Needless,
scene.
pointless padding as a whole.
So far out of Disney's attempts with their 3 Star Wars movies,
Force
including
Awakens.
Rogue One and The Last Jedi, Force Awakens was the best.
The only thing I can say is the fact that it was nice to see, Luke back in action.
Very much.
Even though old as shit. And it's nice to see Carrie Fisher in her final movie, unless they work her in the other one. And all in all, it was a good movie, but I can't see myself paying any money to go and see it again. I'm going to wait until they have it on a Blu-ray release. Because,
I'll own it digitally.
yeah, digitally.
Blu-ray the physical collection,
Well,
Star Wars collection.
that's all I have to say about it.
Agreed.
So, it's me, Nate, a.k.a. Devil Dog, and I'm here with...
Captain Blockhead.
And we want to say thank you for watching this video. Please leave a comment below if you've seen this movie and what you thought about it too. And always leave a like, they're great as well. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember people, the devil is in the details. Peace out.